Welcome everyone to Online Yin Yoga with Nita. My name is Nita, and today we're going to be doing a Yin Yoga flow focus on legs and hips. You'll need a couple of yoga blocks if you have them available. If not, you can always use books to stack them. Sometimes boxes could also help, but they need to be firm enough for you to get your weight on them, okay? And then you can also just bring cushions, bolsters, blankets that you can roll like that one to make yourself supported throughout the postures. Other than that, I'll leave the playlist in the little box so you can listen to some music or you can just practice in quiet and silence if that feels better. Okay. So we're going to get started today in a bit of a different position than usual. We typically start seated, but I want us to play with our props, no matter what props you have. So if you have blocks, we're going to go into a reclined butterfly. If you have them, you can stack them like so. So like a taller one, and then the medium height. And then you can place your bolster over them. If you don't have blocks, you can just put a bolster or a cushion or even a roll blanket. It doesn't have to be lifted. You can also just place it like this. Okay, so this is nice if you have books or things you can use, but be mindful not to create a prop tower that will fall. So I'll give you some time to set it up. And once that's set, you're gonna sit kind of at the base of that prop, of that bolster or blanket or whatever you have. And then you're gonna bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart, find your butterfly base. And then very mindfully, very gently, you can lay on top of that prop tower. If you don't have the blocks, just lie on top of your bolster. If you're like, you know what, I don't feel like doing this prop tower situation, that's fine. Just lie on butterfly. It's still a reclined version. So, whatever you are, just take some time to fidget, wiggle, find the proper or the most supportive posture. Relaxing shoulders, letting them melt down, kind of wrapping that bolster or blanket or cushion. Hands are by your side, they're relaxed. You can also place cushions under your knees if you need more support. And then we arrive here. You can soften your gaze or close your eyes here. And then take a few deep inhales through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. Inhale. And exhale. One more like that. Deep inhale. And exhale. And then just find a regular rhythm for your breath. Filling your belly as you inhale. Maybe noticing that your chest rises. And then on the exhale, feeling that your belly contracts, the chest lowers. And as we're here in our first in posture, we're going to do a bit of a body scan to connect with the body, anchor in the breath, and start noticing sensations in the body as we go through it. So imagine you have this huge, large scanner that's going to scan your whole body from head to toe. And we're going to go very slowly, okay? Noticing what happens with curiosity and with kindness, without judging, without labeling good or bad, just noticing, okay? We're going to start from the top of the head, forehead, eyes, nose, your ears, mouth, chin, neck, as well as the back of the head. So back of your skull, back of your neck, going down through your clavicle, your shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms, all the way down to your wrists, hands, and every one of your fingers. And as we're going down, you're softening, right? You're noticing if there's any tension, any tenderness, any sore spots, maybe any pain. And we're trying to send the breath there to soften. Keep going down through your chest, your torso, belly, as well as your upper back, lower back, down to your hips, your glutes, your groin, and start going down towards your legs. So quads, hamstrings, your knees, calves, shins, all the way down to your ankles, soles of the feet, bottoms of your feet, and every one of your toes. Remember to breathe. I know you're breathing, but sometimes we hold the breath, right? So what did you notice in this first scan here? What sensations came up? And thoughts may come and go, right? As we do this, as we're in these postures. So the reminder is that we have the breath to help us refocus the attention on the inhale, on the exhale, and on the sensation. Okay? So it's okay if the mind wanders. It's okay if the mind goes to yesterday, to tomorrow, to a list of to-dos. But then we bring it back. And we're starting with this reclined butterfly, whatever version you chose, to start opening up the body. So we're opening the hips, opening the chest. Start sinking into sensation. Start getting curious about how we're arriving. Couple more breaths here. All right, from here, very gently, okay, because we've been here for a while. You can use your hands to help bring your knees together, bring your legs up slowly. If you have any props under your knees, you can move them away. And then use your hands to come up. Let's dismantle our prop tower. So you have bolster like me and some blocks. You can put them aside. And then invite some windshield wipers here. So bring your hands behind you, plant your feet, bend your knees. I encourage you to maybe play with how wide you want to have your feet because the windshield wiper will be different. So if your feet are wider, you might have some more range of motion here to come from one side to the other side. And if you're narrower, it's a little different. You can still do it, it's just a little different. So maybe we stay in one side and explore. Oof. I'm very sore today, so this is much needed for me too. Okay. So play with a few of those, and then once that feels complete, we're going to move into caterpillar or a seated forward fold. So I encourage you to maybe get a blanket or a thin block if you have one at home, or a thin cushion, something that's not too high up. This is a little, there we go. And sit on it. Why? Because sometimes when we do our forward folds, trying to get my blanket right, there we go. When we do our forward folds, we tend to just sit and then go like this. And what happens is that we're targeting the lower back there. We're not really getting the benefit of the fold if we're starting here. So when you sit on the edge of a bolster or a thin block, you're allowing the pelvis to tilt forward, and it's kind of already getting you there, right? So sit on something, feel the front of your sit bones ground, and then you're welcome to also slide a bolster under the knees or a blanket. That feels good. However you want to feel supported here. Take a deep inhale. And then on the exhale, we start folding any amount. So you can walk your hands towards your feet, towards your shins, your ankles. No place to go, really. It's not like you have to reach your feet or you have to hold them now. We're looking for a fold. We're looking for extension. I'm sorry, for flexion of the spine. Mm. And then we're looking for sensation on the back of your legs. So you might feel it in your hamstrings here, in your calves. And then we stay for a few minutes here. Welcome to support your forehead with a block, with your hands. And we might fidget, right? Like I noticed I was a little like fidgety right now. That's just our nature. Our minds and even our nervous systems are just like boop, 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 from one thing to the next. So how can we just allow a bit more stillness, even in the chaos? Finding that place where we have that edge of sensation, where we feel some tension, some compression, but we're not in pain. So, as always, the reminder is that if you feel any numbness, any sharp pain, burning sensation, that's an indication to come out. So, be mindful and listen to the body. If at any point you feel that, either bring it back, adjust, or come out. Notice if you're holding or gripping your toes, your fingers, your jaw. How can you soften a little bit more? You have about half a minute more here. You got this. Listen deeply. What is the body feeling? What is the body saying? My hamstrings are talking right now. They're like, woof, but in a good way. And let's hang out here for a second. Way. All right. In the next breath or two, always without a rush, right? Relish in the transition. We start coming up. So walk your hands up. And again, if you have all the props, take your time. Remove the props. And then from here, we're going to take tabletops on hands and knees. Hands under your shoulders, knees under hips. And check in, right? So, like my wrists are talking to me right now. So maybe you want to shift the placement of your hands and move a bit, wiggle hips from side to side, kind of shifting your weight, right? Maybe you want to take a few cat cows to rinse the spine, inhaling to come into cow, dropping the belly, lifting the crown, shining through the collarbones, and exhaling, rounding the spine, belly button to spine, dropping the crown and tucking that tailbone. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling to cat. And then you can play with it and do a few circles or just keep cycling through your cat cows. Taking a moment to reset here. And then from here, we're going to come into a very brief down dog. Down dogs in yin are used to transition. So they're more yang really in nature, but I like using them. So tuck your toes, plant your hands, and then lift your hips up. This might feel a little stiff, so feel free to walk your dog, lifting one heel and then the other, melting your chest towards your thighs. Take a breath or two here. Finding stillness. And then on the next breath, you're going to lift your your right leg, any amount. And then you're going to bring it in between your hands. So let me get my blocks. I know that that can be challenging for some bodies. Personally, my arms are kind of short. So blocks are really helpful here. We're going to come into a low lunge or a dragon. So you're framing your right foot in between your hands, and you can bring blocks under your hands to support you and to give you height. So Ankle is under knee here. Foot is firmly planted. And then the left knee is down. And we're trying to find sort of the right length of this lunge, if that makes sense, right? Because we want to have some sensation in the hip, but we don't want to dump all of our weight carelessly here, right? So we want to have some integrity. So imagine that the zipper part of your pants, you're kind of bringing it towards your belly button a little bit. So there's some integrity here, but there is sensation on the hips. So hands can stay down or they can come up to your right thigh. You can have one hand on your thigh, one hand on your block, so that we are in high flying dragon here. And we breathe. So if there's any sensitivity on the knee, on the back knee there, you're welcome to bring a blanket or fold your mat so that you can take care of that knee, okay? This mat is very thick, so that kind of helps with that. Whew. And then we feel our hips here. We feel our legs. Feel the strength of that front leg here. And then again, notice if you have that tendency of just like dumping the whole thing. And then you can always come back if it's too much. You can come back a little. Breathing. Softening as much as you can soften here. I know there's also a balance component in our lunges, so I'm aware, I'm mindful of that. And then if you fall, if you wobble, that's okay. You can come back up. About 20 more seconds here before we go into a different variation of our dragon. Feel the foundation on that front foot. Feel the sensations in your hip. All right, on the next inhale, we're gonna come into a twisted version of our dragon. So the left hand comes down into that block or the ground, whatever feels good for your body. And then we place the right hand on that right thigh or knee area and we twist. We open up the chest towards the right. There's also the option to bring in that right hand behind you if that helps you open up a bit more. Just find a place of comfort in the discomfort here. I'm gonna turn so you can see me right here. There we go. Breathing. Noticing the sensations there. Noticing if you went too far, right? That happens sometimes with lunges, so bring it back a bit. Or if you need more sensation, then you can. I don't like going deeper. I don't like that phrase because people feel like they have to go deeper. But you can increase sensation by maybe lengthening that lunge or that twist, right? I actually like this better now. Okay, a couple more breaths now. Careful to not dump here on your left shoulder. So separate shoulder from ears. All right, in the next breath, come back to center. This is a great time to bring your blocks or books or cushions or whatever you have available. We're gonna come into dragon half splits. So we're gonna bring our hips back as we extend that right leg. So it might be helpful to bring your props along with you. You don't need to, you can just be on the ground here, like so. I like blocks because my arms are short. So find that spot where your front leg is extended, your hips are back, and you feel that stretch in the back of that front leg. So we don't need to sit here. We're not sitting. And you may need to adjust that front foot here. And then check in with hips. I have a tendency to come into one side. So try to square your hips so they're squared towards the front of that mat. And then you can fold over that extended leg any amount. Feeling that counter stretch here. These dragon postures are beautiful if you run, if you do a lot of leg stuff, leg workouts. It's a beautiful way to stretch these muscles. And remember here, we're not really working actively with the muscles. We're working with the deep tissue, right? So yes, you could try to stretch the muscles, but we're here trying to be passive and to soften so that the postures can work in a deeper layer, right? They can work with and ligaments and joints and tendons and fascia. But you're also welcome to do this in a more active way, in a more yang way. It all has its benefits. Okay, a few more breaths. Okay, and then we gently come back up to our lunge. Whew. Then we remove the props if we had any, and take your time to come back into that down dog. There we go. Lifting hips, maybe walking our dog here, resetting. Oof. Maybe we come into our tippy toes for a little bit. Stretching here. And then find stillness for a breath or two. And then lift your left leg up any amount. And then bring it in between your hands here for the second side. So lower the right knee. Find your props if you need them. We're coming into our high flying lunge. So again, ankle is under knee here. Front foot is firmly planted, supporting you. Hands can be down to blocks, or one in block, one in thigh, or both hands at your thigh. Bringing your torso up for high flying dragon. Check in with the back knee. Make sure you're not hurting your knee. And then make sure we're not just completely dumping our weight here. Have some integrity. Imagine you have like this beautiful bushy tail. I love this metaphor. My teacher gave me this. I don't know, like a foxtail or something, or a beautiful cat with a long tail. And then imagine this tail kind of wraps around and comes up to your belly button and kind of zips you up. That's the that's the sensation we're looking for in terms of where your hips are in space and how much you're trying to dump that weight there. Softening the shoulders here, separating them from the ears. Maybe finding a point to focus your gaze on, your drishti, to help yourself redirect, breathe into it. If you have your hands on blocks, soften your fingers. I know you're using your hands maybe to help yourself stay up, but try to see if you can surrender that, like some of that grip, that hold, and that tightness. I'm going to turn so you can see the twisted version here. All right. On the next breath, we're going to come into twist the dragon here on our left side. So leave the right hand down to the ground or block, left hand on your left knee or thigh area. And you're welcome to move that block a bit towards the side here if you need more space. And then twist towards the left. Opening your chest here. Option to bring that left hand behind you. And then checking in with this right shoulder, right? Are we dumping all of our weight into that right hand, or are we keeping some of that length, that height here, separating shoulder from ears, or right shoulder from right ear in this case? How can you soften? Stay with the breath. Stay with the sensation here. Feel that strength in your legs, your foundation, the ground holding you. And that beautiful twist that's helping your spine. It's also helping with digestion. A few more breaths here. Great job, everyone. And then we come back to center. Woo. And then we come into the half splits. So again, bring hips back as you extend that left leg. And then you can bring your props along with you. Adjust the placement, check in with hips. Check in that you're not dumping into one hip or the other. Square your hips. And then you can play with maybe folding over that leg. Softening your toes. I have a tendency to flex my foot in some of these postures and like keep it super flex. Um, it's not wrong. It's just sometimes I just overdo it and my feet are just very tight. So I try to remember to soften my feet, soften my toes. Just noticing these spots where we carry tension and we hold and grip almost without noticing, right? We just automatically do it. Feeling that beautiful sensation in the back of the leg, hamstrings, calves, deflection of the spine over this leg. You got this. Few more breaths here. And then on the next breath or two, we come back into our lunge and then whew, we'll bring that foot back. Instead of going into down dog, let's take a child's pose, the most supportive version of your child's pose. So bringing big toes together, knees wide. You can either have a bolster or a cushion and hug it, bringing your arms down, chest down, like so. Or some people also like having a bolster in between bum and heels and coming down. Or a mix of the two, whatever works for you. There's also the option to having a block under your forehead, if that feels supportive. Some people use their hands as well to bring the floor to them. So find your child's pose. Remember, we're bringing hips down towards the heels, but they don't have to touch. It's just the direction where the hips are going. And then surrender here. You're gonna stay there for a few minutes. Noticing already how the body's feeling after those postures. Reconnecting with the breath if you lost it. You're welcome to move your forehead kind of side to side to massage that third eye area. Observing, right? Even though we're not doing the scanning in every single pose, we're still noticing. We're still noticing any spots, any parts of the body that is speaking to us, perhaps any emotions or things that are coming up in some of these postures. And again, finding the appropriate edge. The edge is not just for physical sensation, the edge is also for emotions. So if there's a place where the emotion is just too intense, you can also back off a bit. There is no obligation in this practice. There's just offerings and invitations, and you know better than anyone what you need. So always listen to you. A few more breaths here in your child's pose. And whenever you're ready, start coming up, walking your hands towards you. And find tabletop again. We're going to do a few more leg things before we start closing up. So find tabletop first. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And then extend your right leg, bringing your toes down, they're tucked, and just stretch here for a bit. Maybe you kind of move up and down, feeling your toes here, stretching your leg a bit. And after that feels complete, we're going to lift our right leg and we're going to bring it bent kind of towards that left knee, right? So you can look at me if that feels weird. We're going to come into shoelace. This is a fun way of coming into shoelace. So basically, right knee is behind left knee. And then you can stay here. If you're like, okay, this is already a lot for me, like I'm here, beautiful. You can also play with extending your hands a bit, kind of bringing your chest down, similar to child's pose. Or you can play with coming down into your hips, a little bit of the edge here. So, like so. So, in terms of how your legs need to look like, they don't need to look like anything. The idea, quote unquote, is to work on bringing knee over knee, but all of our bodies are different. Like I can't do that. So you can have your legs like this, you can have a block or even a blanket in between. Or if you're like, Nita, you're insane, I'm not doing this shoelace situation, you can also just extend the bottom leg and just have the top leg over it. So I gave a lot of options there. Find the one that works for you, right? So we can stay up here in our tabletop shoelace situation. We can come down any amount, or we can extend the bottom legs and just leave the front, the top one. Okay? Find the version that works for you. And wherever you are in your shoelace, once you've fidgeted and moved and explored, because I feel like in a lot of these classes, sometimes we don't allow ourselves the time to find the right thing, right? Like we just want to land. Boom, I landed. Here, stillness, 3 minutes, let's go. Take your time. Like play with it, put a blog in it, a block under it, put a blanket, grab a cushion, like play until you find your spot. And then once you find your spot, yeah, that's when we stay. And don't worry about the time. I'm keeping track of time for you, so so if you're sitting on your hips and your shoelace, your feet can be wherever they feel great. They can be out, they can be closer to your hips. And then you can be sitting up or you can fold over it if that feels good. There's a lot happening here, right? A friend of mine calls this the pretzel. Hmm. Notice where your mind is. It's okay if it's somewhere else, monkeying around. Bring it back. Back to the breath. Back to the body. Hmm. One more minute here. You got this. And then we have the other side. Lots of things happening here with our hips. Targeting hips, we're targeting legs, glutes, especially if you're folding over, you might feel it in your glutes as well. But where are you feeling it, right? There's no right or wrong answer. Sometimes when I say, oh, you might feel it here, maybe people are like, I don't feel it there. Is there something wrong with me? No. We all feel it in different places because our bodies are all different and unique and beautiful. So feel it where you feel it. And if you're feeling it, you're doing it. All right. You're coming out of the shoelace. So wherever you are, very slowly come up. So if you wear in your tabletop shoelace, bring that right leg back to the mat. And if you were on your seated shoelace, just unravel and come back to tabletop. So we'll all meet here on tabletop. Wiggle your hips. Take any movement you need to. And then we're going to come into the other side. Fun. So left leg extends back. Toes are tucked. You can move up and down here. You can even do some circles with your ankle if that feels good. Just do whatever you need here before coming into shoelace. So once that feels complete, we're going to bring that left knee, we're going to bend that leg, bring that left knee kind of besides that right one, right? And then we can stay on our, I'm going to call this tabletop shoelace now. Or we can extend our arms here and just bring chest down, or just come all the way back with our hips and find a seat. And then remember, you could be here or the bottom leg can extend like so. Take your time to play. If you need any cushion, bolster blocks under hips or in between knees, go for it, explore. And once you find your shoelace, your version of your shoelace, check in, see if you want to stay up or if you want to fold. Ooh. My right glute is like, yes. And this might look different than the other side, okay? So you don't have to do the same thing. If you did tabletop shoelace and now you want to sit, do it, or the other way around, who cares? We're not perfectly symmetrical, so remember that. If the mind is telling you to do something, oh, you did this, so you have to do this, Remember, listen to you, listen to the body, listen to what the body's asking for. Softening the toes here as well. Releasing any tension on the shoulders. Reconnecting with the breath if you lost it. Filling your belly with the inhale. And deflating that balloon on the exhale. Almost there. Couple more breaths. Okay. On the next inhale, we start walking up. If you are seated, unravel that shoelace. And then very slowly lie down on your back. If you were on tabletop, same thing, unravel. And then find your mat. If you need a sip of water or anything, this is a perfect time to do so. Then check in here. So maybe we want to plant the feet, bending the knees, and then do some windshield wipers here if that feels good. Oof. When that feels good, when that feels complete, we're going to bring knees to your chest. Give yourself a hug here. Maybe we sway from side to side. Maybe the head comes up for a bit. Massaging that lower back. Maybe you play with some circles. One way, and then the other way. And then we're going to find a recline twist. So check in on your sides if you have stuff lying around. So extend your arms like a T shape. And then let your knees fall towards the left side first. Your left hand can hold your knees, your legs, as your right hand is extended. Or you can stay in a T shape if that feels good. Gaze can be up or towards the right for a deeper twist. You're welcome to put a bolster or a blanket in between your legs or a block if that feels good. Make sure that you take the recline twist of your choice. Slowing down. Even more than you were. Very gently bring your knees back up. Extend the arms again. And then let the knees drop towards the right side this time. And again, the gaze can be up or towards the left for a deeper twist. Start integrating all the work you did today. Keep listening to how the body feels. Now the next breath or two, we bring the knees back to center, and then we take anything else that you might need before Shavasana. So maybe you waterfall your legs. I like to do a bit of a dead bug, bringing arms up, waterfall legs, and then kind of like a shake to release any leftover tension. Shake, 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 shake. Release. And then just feel that energy. Or whatever else you need. And once you're ready, we take your Shavasana. So take space, make yourself comfortable. Maybe this is a beautiful opportunity to grab a blanket. Maybe you place the bolster underneath to release the lower back a bit, like so. Grab a sweater. And then lie down, taking space, extending arms and legs, and softening your gaze or closing your eyes here. And let's take a moment to do that body scan again and see how we're feeling compared to when we arrived. But this time we're going to start at the bottom. So we're going to start at our toes. Imagine we're going through that big scanner again. We start with toes, feet, ankles, shins, calves, knees, hamstrings, quads, hips, glutes, belly, lower back, chest, upper back, shoulders, coming down to upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers, and coming all the way up through the neck, chin, mouth, nose, ears, eyes, top of the head. What is the body saying? Before I let you go, I'm going to share a quick reading about balance and listening to the body. Balance does not look a certain way because it isn't a set standard to impose upon ourselves. It's not something we can plan or schedule. Instead, it comes from listening to the guidance and wisdom of the inner voice. Balance will look different in each of us, and even different in each of us at different times. To be in tune with ourselves, we must get quiet and listen, and then heed this inner voice. This voice does not push or bombard or make promises. This inner wisdom simply knows what we need to be vital, healthy, and in deep harmony. Coming back to the space, into your body. You're welcome to finish in Shavasana or take your time to come to a seat. And then wherever you are, we're going to take 2 deep breaths, inhaling deeply through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, let it all go. 1 more inhale. Bring your hands to heart center and exhale, bowing. Namaste.